counselor. This is, of course, after having spent years in corporate and doing other things. But what brings me here is really love for freedom of being able to just drive wherever, whenever, however. And that's only possible in a car. So it started many, many years ago. And now, of course, we have a group that we have formed, and motorsports is just taking on a different form and level in the country. So, using that as a cue, I would like to actually start by asking all of you, to give your view on the motorsport event that Strada Sports had actually put together. I thought it was amazing, but I want to hear it from you because all of you were there. And what would you like to see more of there? And what particularly did you like about this event that happened? So we'll go one by one. Vibha, shall we go with you first?
Yeah, happy to do that, Latika. Thank you. To begin with that interesting question, we are just back from fresh memories of the Motorfest, and hats off to Nina and Strada Motors for pulling off such a wonderful event at such a large scale for the first time. For me, it was definitely an exhilarating experience from start to finish, I would say. And it just happened in a very impromptu way where on a Women's Day event, I just happened to bump into Nina, and it just happened on the spot that she invited me to be a part of the Motorfest, and it wasn't planned at all. What I was truly impressed was the diverse participation and all kinds of vehicles there, right? From vintage cars, so your Gulabo, to timeless beauties, luxury vehicles, off-roaders. So it was truly a diverse experience participating and watching those beauties and interact with all the like-minded people who had just purely love for cars. A lot of youngsters, and I think people from all age groups came. I saw little toddlers, families coming in to the bikers as well, not just the car enthusiasts. So it was an amazing experience, a very thought through program, and the organization was truly impeccable. It was heartening to see how deeply the experience resonated with the audience, which reflected in all the after event information floating around all the social media. So I think that was the highlight for me, that after the event, the social media was flooded with all kinds of experiences that people had, which shows that it was a success.
Thank you. That was really good. I actually missed part of the social media, so I'm glad you saw that. Great. So Kshamta, would you like to share your experience?
About Motorfest.
Yes.
I must say it's a great initiative. And I was outside from Gurgaon, but I managed to somehow able to join from the last part of the Motorfest. It was amazing. I went there for my son, and thank you, Nina and Strada Motorsports, for recognizing his effort to the motorsports. Thank you so much, and it was really amazing, and I'm looking forward for the next year and many more years to come.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kshamta.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear your perspective, because you have attended many events as an organizer as well. So what would you like to see more of, Umesh?
Yeah. So it's for me. Okay. So I missed that question. Okay. So
what would you like to see more of, and what really was the one thing that stood out for you at that event?
Well, frankly, I believe it was perfectly planned. It was a cocktail of everything, and the way it was organized, it was perfectly done. Autocross you have go-karting for kids happening, you have RC cars running there, then the love for the cars of all the people, then you have a live band playing. So overall, it was very lively, lively. I would say the whole architecture of it, and I really loved it. I really loved the concept. It was a new concept for me, and the overall prize distribution, the competition happening, race of the champs. So I believe it has a potential to grow. Definitely not just to our city, Gurgaon, but other cities, other parts of India also.
Fantastic. Thank you, Umesh. And Tarushi, you want to try? See if it works for you?
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes. So much better.
Great.
Please.
Yeah, it was a really amazing experience helping out with the Strada team and everyone who was there. And it was a really amazing experience being part of Motorfest. And it's nice to see the car culture coming up towards the north, because like a lot of the events that happen are more towards the south. Like you have the circuit racing, which is either in Chennai or in Coimbatore. You have in the Madras International Circuit, which is in Chennai, and the Curry Motor Speedway, which is in Coimbatore. And most of the rallies also happen more in the south. I mean, your K1000 is in Bangalore. You have the Robusta rally, which is in Coorg. You have even the Coffee 500, which is, it's an old rally, but used to happen in Chikmagalur. You have the Coimbatore rally, the South India rally, all which are more in the south. So it's nice to see more car culture coming up in the north and having such a big turnout. And like again, like how there were so many people of different ages, like old people, young people, in the variety of cars over there. You had the vintage cars, off-roading cars, drift cars, and the supercars. And yeah, it was an amazing experience, at least on my end. So yeah, and everyone is having fun, and everyone was like so happy and like so amused with everything that was going on. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Tarushi. And for myself, I will say the highlight for me was that I could drool shamelessly on the over the cars. I could actually just go there. The vintage cars were just, oh my God. I think I could marry one. They're just so good looking. And the supercars, of course, are beautiful. The monster trucks are like, wow. So I think for people who just love cars, it was one of the most amazing opportunities to have, all of them at the same time. So yeah. So great. I'm so glad. So, Nina, thank you for that Motorfest. You, Justin, Gary, the team, the entire team who put that together. Thank you so much for it. And clearly, everybody wants to see more of that. And I think that's a promise. There will be more. So wonderful. Now, one of the things that we did want to talk about was, basically women power behind the wheel. So, Umesh, you'll have to really kind of come out there and, encourage everybody, because those of us who are on the panel right now, we are already there. But why is it that we don't see more women, in motorsports? Is a concern, because really speaking, there's no reason. So let's just throw that up, and I'm not going to ask you one by one, as in how you have a thought. Please come up with it. Like, what is it that we can do to see women power behind the wheel?
Well, frankly, I believe it's just in you. You have it in you. This sport is not like you don't have any physical difference as such. Like you have tennis or any other game happening where you say that, okay, men have more stamina, they are different, their structure is different. Here is just actually accelerator and brakes. Overall, being into motorsport now, I can clearly say that I have seen better driver than me also. So at times it is just because of few people that we say that, okay, women are a bit cautious drivers, but you guys have the potential. It's just about taking it out. You just need to find it. And I really don't know why it's not being covered. It's the all over world we say, okay, it's a woman driver, but there are times I've seen people who are really, really absolutely fabulous drivers. And you guys have a good potential. Definitely, if you see in the two-wheeler category now, there's a change. Like Aishwarya Pisse is doing quite good in the, but same goes for four-wheel drives. I believe future, if a little bit push, definitely you'll see the change in the way it goes.
Thanks, Umesh, for that. You when you organized that women's rally, I remember it went off. I mean, it was such a hit. People came from, different states to be a part of that, and it was just amazing. I remember being a marshal in that rally, with you. But why have we not seen more of those?
Well, frankly, the whole motorsport world overall, in India specifically, after a few incidences and because of the road conditions, motorsports is definitely came down. Sponsorship is coming down a lot. You don't have good sponsors coming up. But as I say, Women Car Rally gave very good potential to motorsport world. To name some, Garima Daga, Niharika Yadav, they all, Yutika, who's from the army, all these people started they got the motorsport uh, exposure for the first time from the Women Car Rally. And
Yes.
definitely till today, I believe that it's something that I've given back to the sport. And if you feel a little bit good that yes, and these people are good. These people they have the potential, and they grow. They actually went up the ladder. So definitely, the potential is there. It's just about finding it out, and you guys have it in you. You just need to take it out. That's it.
Okay. So I think what I'm hearing is that yes, you would like to do more of it, and we need to really organize the sector. So Nina, this is another one for Strada Motors, okay, and probably link up with other people who are in other motorsports and put it all together, so that it becomes one cohesive, easily accessible, and and yet not too much for one person. Just sort of do this together. So. Thanks, Umesh. We're definitely going to follow this up. Okay, would any of the ladies like to sort of give their view on yes, Kshamta?
Oh, yeah. So you said ki I see no reason, but I see many reasons. First is social and the financial, and the third is adventure involved. So the socially, when any lady or any girl want to participate, so most of the time their parent discourage them because of adventure involved. You have to drive on a very high speed in circuit racing or anything, or like uh, autocrosses and any kind of thing. And if you are in rallying, so you have to go through some time, because I have done recently Ranchi rally, so you have to go through in night lag. You are going to the dense jungles. You have to, when you are in Rajasthan, you have to cross the dunes. So there are too much of adventure involved. So many times, what I have seen in my 7 years of this in motorsports, the many times the ladies themselves backed off for the sport. Even though I agree that they are very cautious, very good drivers, they can beat any time to anybody. But yes, there are three things like social, financial, and adventure involved. So that's why the participation is very less. If you are not financially sound or you're not financially capable, so it's very difficult for ladies to participate.
So Shanda, thanks for that. I understand the financial part, of course, is there, but I think to Umesh's point that once the sponsors come in, that will ease off. But there are a lot of other groups like Mahindra and all who actually do events where they provide the cars. So it's really not that expensive to do that, and maybe we need more of that. So perhaps that's another thing we need to note down, because the people who have the potential to encourage more women and men, for that matter, actually, is all of us here. So I think
I actually have a point here to say financial is for guys also then. The
yeah,
same is for
that's
socially. Socially, if you see, it's for men also at times.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
when the parents, you say that it's different, but at times, if you see some of the houses, they will say that, okay, this is something which we don't want you to drive fast,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know. And it is, I believe personally that it is where the woman draws the line. It is where you draw the line as a whole gender. So if you let your shackles go off, you definitely can have a good future. And there is, what I know of, as per my regulations, there is nothing like F1. There is nothing like that. Women can't participate in it. It's not like only men are just, participating in it, or a WRC, only men are participating in it. If you, if a good driver really comes up to that level, you are actually at par to that person and driving next to him. So it's not gender specific win, like we have cricket, which is gender, that women's cricket, and it is just about you guys coming out, taking out your full potential. What I feel right now, it's like you guys, okay, a little bit, you achieve something and then you believe that I've achieved a lot. You guys don't really are that I'm a female, okay, I don't want to compete with a male. The day you act, I believe so that the day you actually say that, okay, I want to beat Michael Schumacher, I want to be a Loeb, you know, maybe that's the day we see the change happening.
No, it is. The change is there. And what I hear you say, there's plenty of men like you who believe that there is no reason why women can't. And I think that's a great platform to begin with, and maybe we need more men out there because, yes, there is so I agree with you and with Kshamta, okay, because what she's saying is not entirely wrong. There is a section of society where, women are kind of held back. But what you're saying is that a lot of it is in our mind. Okay. That is also to some degree true. I remember when I used to, drive in the hills about 20, 30 years ago, I would have, little urchins, those little, the little kids on the road running by the car saying, Dekho, ladki gaadi chala rahi hai. And I remember making it a point to slow down, wave to them, make my husband wave to them, and Deepak and I would sort of, you know, um, make it a nice thing for them. Because I realized at that point that the boys who are seeing and pointing ki ladki gaadi chala rahi hai, their minds are opening. So I think it's the more women who drive and drive responsibly, the more this ceiling will break and it'll come through. So yes.
So,
Um,
Latika, I have a very strong point on this.
oh, please go ahead.
While I kind of agree with most of the points, but I don't agree that we need men to encourage us for sure. But overall, to encourage women to take on the wheels, I think it's the visibility and the community. Right? These are the two aspects that we need where, when women see other women owning the wheel, be it a car or a company, you know, they feel inspired
I
and
agree.
they feel encouraged, right? So I think we need to normalize the ambition with horsepower. It's just the encouragement in all aspects. Financial, I think anybody who owns a car and is a woman would like to drive, right?
Mm.
Uh, but then how do you take on to the next level and go on an off-roading trip, right? It's the community. If such communities are created and they are encouraged, I think people are getting adventurous in groups. There are many groups getting created. There are many platforms where one can participate. I think it's also a personal interest, right? Not everybody wants to drive. Uh, Off-roading is not a cup of tea for everyone, right? So finding those avenues, the right community, giving them that visibility, irrespective of the gender, I would say, creates those platforms.
No, I'm with you on that one. I just want to clarify when I say men should speak out more, I don't mean that we need their permission, so to speak. But the fact of the matter is that cars and vehicles in general have always been considered a male bastion, you know, and it's like when you all get together and, suddenly everybody will be talking about, their cars and this thing, and you rarely it's always they shift into a corner with their glasses and go there. So I'm saying that if there were more people who are more inclusive, it won't hurt. It's I think women are doing a fabulous job in terms of marching ahead. I just want the men to keep up with us. I think
Well,
yeah, I think that came out right.
Yeah, I like that.
well, you have a lot to catch up in motorsports, and I can let you know that.
It's okay. We'll be there. Don't worry. We are not worried. Yeah, but
I,
I think
I I somehow really believe that because whenever I see, you guys are competing in yourself that okay, I will win the woman category prize. You know, I on the other hand feel you have so much potential. You guys have so much as a gender role overall potential. Why restrict yourself? It is you only who are restricting themselves. That okay, I want to come top in the woman category. What's the harm in coming first in the whole category, overall category? You guys
Oh,
have
yeah. I
you guys have
actually,
almost the same
I want
potential.
to come in here. Sorry for interjecting. We have Tarushi, and I've seen her race on the track. I've seen her how she gives
yeah.
run for their money to the male racers. And she is one driver that, all her male counterparts definitely, they're pretty scared of her. So why don't Tarushi, you talk about what you do on the track? I'm sure Kshamta has seen Tarushi race on the track, and
She is
I'm
wonderful.
yeah,
She's
yeah.
wonderful.
So why don't you talk about the fact, and I've actually seen how Tarushi's parents are there to support her and to push her, and definitely we have women and young adults like Tarushi, but Tarushi, why don't you just speak about your experience on the track?
It's been really great. Like the 3 years that I had in Redline, we had a lot of women, which was really great, and a lot of men as well. And at least for me, I've had a really good journey because like all the guys would like really encourage me or help me in like my racing lines or like with car setup or anything. And it's been great because they've been helping me to become the racer I am today. And we've always had like a healthy competition. I still remember my very first race with Redline. Um, I was battling it out with Ani, and I was on his tail like almost for a few laps, and then there's this one place where he kind of stepped out of the line, and I overtook him, and then on the last lap, in the last corner, he almost had me, but then like I gave a good fight and like I kept my position, and then we finished everything. We crossed the finish line, cool down lap, everything, came into the pits and all. And then we just got out of the car and like said like good race and like keep it up. Like we just had fun, and that's what racing should be about. Then like putting down each other and instead of bringing each other up.
That's fabulous. That's a fabulous share. Thank you, Tarushi, for that. On that note, I'm going to ask, Vibha, Shamta, okay, would you like to just sort of share an experience that sort of comes back to you the more, out of all your years of being in the car? Something that you would like to share? Any experience which was strange or interesting or, just wild?
So I just want to share one experience. So I was participating in autocross, and there was a double track. So I was fighting in my category. The one amateur boy is fighting in his own category, and obviously that time I was little pro. So I mean, there is no competition as such because we both were fighting in own category. So obviously I go ahead and I just beat him on the track, but it's hardly matter. But the boy came to me and said, everybody was saying कि लड़की है जाने दो, इसलिए मैंने आपको छोड़ दिया. So मैंने seriously. So I was just looking at him कि what he's saying, and that immediately मैं कुछ कहती he just ran off. So that was a very funny incident. Till date, it's hurting me like why I didn't say anything to him. But yes, this thing happened. This thing happened on the track. So this is something to remember.
Umesh, that's the kind of thing we want to see less of from the men.
Latika won't let you go that easily, Umesh.
Well, frankly, that
Let's
has been
be
the point
kind
at
to
times,
him,
and that has been
Sonali.
the point, especially in the men community at times when you say, "Okay, tu ladki se har gaya." So we have a.
Uh,
I am mostly into rallying, so we have a good rallies as by the name Suchi Thakur. She's a very good driver, I would say. And there are times when you discuss that, okay, tu Sachi ke niche hai abhi, okay, but she's a good driver. She now that's what I'm saying. It's our community also who thinks that okay, women can't drive as such. But I, on a personal level, believe you have the potential. You know, you guys can really do wonders in the sport. It's just about you have to just break your shackles somehow, just explore more. I guess Tarushi is having almost the same, the same will to go and win come on the podium, and there's no gender that he's a male or a female.
It's just the car.
But on the other hand, Shamta, you are saying that I was in my category. Please, guys, come out of your categories. Please start thinking beyond your categories now. Come
Absolutely.
for the overall rather than that. Okay, I'm doing in my category.
Definitely.
I'm coming in.
You are absolutely right, and we are planning. We are participating continuously in rallies so that we can up our game in terms of driving, in terms of navigation. So we are trying hard to compete in a open category or the expert category. So definitely you will see me very soon. I hope you wish me. And at the same time, I just want to share one more experience because we are participating in a Rajputana rally recently in March. So, the very steep dune, all the women, they cross dune in a one go. That is our achievement, and most of the time the men, they stuck on the dune and they like, and the women
So
done wonderfully in that
that is
rally with
proving my
the
point. What I'm saying, you have the
yeah.
potential. You just don't explore it. That's it.
So Umesh, I have a comeback for you. Next time somebody says, "Na, tu ladki se hara hai," you say कि शुक्र है लड़की से हारा है because they are so good. आदमी से नहीं हारना मेरे को.
देखो लड़की से तो हम हमेशा
That's a
हारते
good.
हैं नॉट जस्ट मोटर स्पोर्ट और दी अदर सो मोटर स्पोर्ट ऑल्सो बिकम्स अ पॉइंट दैट ओके जब बाकी चीजों में हार रहे हैं तो मोटर स्पोर्ट ऑल्सो व्हाई नॉट मोटर स्पोर्ट
And I think the crux of it, we have to get out of this whole har jeet. It's
yes
time
yes
to walk
enjoy the
more.
sport do it as a sport do it as a enjoy it as a sport only do it for the love of the sport
No, no,
the
I agree. I
jeet
agree.
the day it comes now I believe it kills the whole concept because now motorsport has become so technical. You are fighting. If you want to win a race, win on the track rather than in the results room. Matlab, that is my personal
I so
belief.
agree. I so agree, and I'm sure Tarushi agrees to it that your races are actually not happening on the track. It's happening in the paddock. It's happening in the
Results
in the
room.
racing room. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, Vibha. I think you've been wanting to say something.
This
Yeah, no, it was interesting discussion. But I would just say I'm not a professional racer, but I go for off-roading trips, right? Adventure trips, and there have been many, many incidents. You don't have to actually go as a woman on a trip to experience those. Even if you're in the city and driving, right? There are many instances where you're made to feel like you are a woman and you can't drive, right? Let me come and help you, whether you are reversing the car in a parking lot or, trying to sniff through some of the traffic where, sometimes you're offered unsolicited, some help that maybe you need it. They assume that because you're a woman, you might not be able to reverse and park the car properly, right? So that's very funny. And then what I do is I just don't even talk, just let them watch and then park it in one go, right? And just let them wonder. So, and the other funny thing that happened, and that was a learning on one of the trips, was we were going to Rishikesh for an off-roading trip, and I have a petrol Thar, and on the entire strip, whatever fuel stations were there, they only had diesel. So we had to come back it was my best friend and I, and just the two of us, and we had to really hunt for, the right fuel. It wasn't available at a long stretch. We drove almost 15 kilometers back to get that. And then whomsoever we were asking at the gas station, majority of them were men. They kind of were making fun that you guys don't know diesel is what you get. There was some issue at that time, and we had a hard time getting it, but then we just decided to go back and get it, no matter we were a little late. But then there is a lot of stereotype, I would say, around women driving, which needs to change. It's a matter of mindset.
Right.
But on the other hand, frankly, Vibha, this is such a suggestion, Nina and Latika. I believe you guys should really know your cars also now. It's high time. It's not just driving. It's about knowing the cars. Which part of the car is working what? You have to talk to your car. You have to understand the sound of the car. You need to understand how the car would react in case, how you are making your car dance. So I guess that because we believe कि oil change हो रहा है या tire बदलना है तो and I'm not doubting it, but yes, there are times when even your gender comes up and says tire बदलना है तो I need help from a male. Why? It's I agree there's a bit physical job, but why do you need help from it? So there are times in the rally I've seen that there are people stranded and can you help us? Frankly, I am a person who says no. You guys are on the same platform than the others. Why will I give you another treatment than the others? So for me, you are on the same field.
No, Umesh,
Yeah,
I also agree, totally agree to this.
agree with that. And by the way, I know how to change my car tires.
I also know. My
It's
father,
same
when I
here.
started driving, he said first 1 month every week I was supposed to just change the tires of my car. So
Yeah.
no, I agree that, and when I was telling Justin you have to be on this panel, unfortunately he's not there. Then he told me if I'll speak the truth, then maybe people on the panel will not like it. So I'm glad, Umesh, you're bringing those things
I
to
don't know
this.
whether you guys are liking it or not, but that's the truth.
No, these are genuine issues. See, these are good issues. They're real issues, and I think no one can say that it's important for women to know their cars. Very important.
If you ride a horse, you have to know your horse, right? You have to know what he eats, what he does, what he likes. You have to connect with the horse. So that's the same thing. A car is just, it's as alive to the person who's in racing, whether it
Yeah.
be, TSD or, F1, whatever kind of racing it is. You have to know.
That got me to Latika, when I met her and she said, I'm going to Ajmer. And I said, okay, how? She said, I'm going to just drive. I said, who? I'm going to drive alone. So I was like, my God, look at this. I'm talking about 2004. And I says, and she would drive all the cars, which like, your taxi guys will drive the big cars and truck cars and all of that. And I said, this, so, of course, you definitely stand out. And at that point of time, there were hardly women just driving at night, going to anywhere she wanted to go. And, that inspired me. And it's so
On that note, let me share what happened last year. Last year, I drove down from Chandigarh to Nagpur. Okay. And I did it in one straight, like it was about 25 hours straight driving. And my husband, Deepak, calls me up in the middle, when this is around 8:30 at night. And he said, oh, by the way, I just wanted to tell you, you're going through Naxalite area. And I was like, right, thank you for letting me know. The middle of the night. Nobody, and me and my dogs and one cook with me. It was one of the most, and that area was one of the most beautiful areas I have ever seen in my life. And when he called, it suddenly the bell rang. Why it was beautiful? Because nobody went there. It was in Naxalite area. You're not supposed to be driving in the middle of the night. So to your point, and by the way, I did have a massive flat tire. My car tires burst because there was no road there. But yeah, the thing is that, for that kind of driving, you have to, I guess, not have fear. That's a very important component of adventure sports. And that's not just for cars. It's any kind of adventure sport that you're into. You have to just do it. There's no फिर क्या होगा, ये क्या होगा, टायर चेंज कौन करेगा, नथिंग, सब हो जाएगा.
That's the
Bet on
spirit.
it, you know? Yeah.
I'm liking the smirks on Tarushi's face, and I can make out that she's really enjoying this discussion. So yeah,
And
No,
she's the new generation. She knows,
yeah.
and she's competing at a gender, not gender specific platform. And I'm really happy that and Tarushi, please go ahead. Just don't go like 5, 7 years down the line and get into the. If you love the sport, do it as a sport.
and
Hopefully, I have sponsors to keep me up. So yeah, but otherwise, it's such a amazing feeling when when you know you have a control over your car, and like you know your car like the back of your hand, the way you take your corners, the way your the way your car just listens to you, and it's it's an amazing feeling.
Yes.
and Tarushi, we want to see more of you out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Tarushi is a great racer and an
Thank you,
aggressive
Auntie.
racer, I must say.
I'm going to ask one last question. What is your theme song when you're in the car? Like, what's that one song that Tarushi, why don't you go first with this one?
Before my races, I usually listen to like a bunch of AC/DC or like any other little upbeat songs that I listen to, or like I've just recently found a liking to. But usually, yeah, it's something to do with AC/DC or like some sort of rock music. I guess a little bit of Justin because he always plays AC/DC or like some rock music, and that just like sticks, and like you get into that vibe, and like that just gets you going, and like yeah.
Okay, that's great. Umesh, I'm sure yours is going to be not AC/DC.
Not AC/DC, but yes, it depends what mood you are in that time when you're driving. So if I'm really like to just totally unwinding, then it's the Tracy Chapman Fast Car, followed by Du Hast and the Matrix theme. So
Right.
Du Hast is also a part of that only. So those are the three songs I really just put it on, and then the accelerator is like the world is cut off. It's just you in the car. That's it.
Fabulous. Kshamta?
So yes, for me is a Hindi song. So I love to listen this Besagriya from Dhoni
Oh,
because I
nice.
love, yeah. So I love that song, and I feel that the same vibes inside me. Like I just want to reach, I want to participate in each and every rally, and I want to do more and more driving, and I really want to enjoy my every podium. And recently, I have because I am too much in love with my Thar. So yes, one Hindi song is like बेवजह नहीं मिलना था मेरा तेरा मेरा. So like it's अगर वो मुझे मिली है तो there is some reason behind it. So yeah, I love these two songs.
Wonderful.
If my Thar is with me because the reason.
That's it. The reason why I asked this question is I'm missing Vibha's gone. But yeah, somehow music and cars go together. So,
Yeah.
it's bound to have like I love listening to peppy music, whatever it is.
Your best song is Gulabo, right?
Yeah, Gulabo. I love
Has
Gulabo.
to be. Has to be.
Gulabo is definitely my favorite song. And Vibha,
Sometimes
if you want to add your song to it,
So, and when I was in school, I used to drive, and there was a song, I don't even know who's the singer, but it says on the road, on the road, on the road again, we're on the road. I don't know if you heard this song. Whenever I'm sitting in a new car and it's like, it touches my heart, I just want to say, okay, on the road again. And the other one, Hindi song, jamming with Kshamta is Chal kahi dur nikal jaye.
all right, we got that. So
Yes.
thank you so much, everyone. This
And,
was a wonderful chat session, and cheers to more. And we shall meet again with more motorsports, more conversations, and let's see more women out there.
Well, thank
And
you so much, Latika. We didn't get to know your song. Which song did you say that you had?
He said no, Gulabo, and I actually love
Acha,
that.
Gulabo. Is it only Gulabo? Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
Gulabo.
On repeat, on repeat.
on repeat. It's
So
a
Gulabo and you were like super hit. There's so many people who made reels on you, written about you and Gulabo together. So it was amazing. So and Umesh, your reel that you made, I think it was just the vibe was different. Motorfest to me, I think the entire event got took over by people within 30 minutes or 1 hour of event starting. We as an organizer had no idea what's happening over here. People came and they did what they wanted to do. They enjoyed themselves and they went home happy. In fact, Instagram, we had hundreds of reels and it started blocking us, thinking we are some bots over here trying to create something. So it was amazing. And Tarushi coming all the way from Chennai, thank you so much for coming all the way. Lots of learnings for us. A lot of things we could have done better, but I think if people are liking it, I'm sure there's something good that we did. Improvements, of course, we will do, and the next one is coming soon. And Latika, thank you so much for
Nina,
moderating
when is the
this.
next? Sorry, when is the next one? Just say it so that people
Yeah.
who are will sort of know.
So we are planning the next one to happen immediately after Diwali. It is a lull season and people don't have much to do. So first week of November is what we are planning.
Okay.
There's also a short event, Latika, you and I spoke about it, but I'll talk about that a little bit once it is formed up. But we will do something in next 3 months, 3 to 4 months, and then in November, the Motorfest 2.0. Thank you so much, everyone. Keep driving. Keep
Okay.
enjoying the cars. And if this thing I liked it actually, really listening to all of you. And if you guys like doing something like this, maybe we can come up with more of a recurrence, maybe once a quarter, bringing more women, bringing more men and trying to talk about the real issues. Definitely there's a need for us to congregate in northern side of the country. And Tarushi, you're going to support us to let us know how people engage more in south side of the country. We don't have dearth of cars, neither do we have dearth of road and of people who are so talented. So I think the vision and mission of Strada Motorsports is let's get the community together and start doing those rallies that, Latika and Umesh, you spoke about in the beginning. And why are we losing ground over here? Let's bring it together. Thank you so much, everyone.
Kshamta, thank you, Tarushi. Thank you, Umesh, so much. And Nina, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so
Bye.
much.
Drive safe.
Bye-bye.